Good evening. Good evening. What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's having a good Saturday night. I know I am, for sure. Most definitely. Hope everybody's participating in their recovery today. Having a great day. I hope you guys are too. Starting to see some guys pop on. Welcome, everybody that's coming in. Wanted to talk, kind of do a JFT just for today discussion again. It went well last night and had some good feedback on it. Talks about God's will and not our own. How many of you guys remember this? Here, I'm gonna change something up here real quick. How many of you guys remember this? And I bet a lot of people are going to relate to this here, right here. Who doesn't want to go back to that? Who relates to this? I know I do. I was incarcerated for a little over 2 years. I remember this, and I definitely do not want to go back to this, because that's what happens when I run on my will and I don't have trust and faith in a higher power greater than myself, which today I choose God, because I don't want to go back to jails, institutions. I don't want to die, and that's where it leads me. Left to my own devices and my stinking thinking, I break out in handcuffs and I end up back in places like this right here, eating ramen noodles again, making breaks. In Indiana, they call them slams. I do not want to go back to that. I don't know about you guys, but I am not ready to go back to it. So staying humble right there. I have to humble myself. Coming into recovery or growing up even from a young age, I had a bad taste in my mouth about religion, a higher power. I was really unsure. I was super unsure. I was forced to go to a Catholic school that I absolutely despised. I didn't like it. So I had a bad taste in my mouth for a long time. Even coming into the rooms in Narcotics Anonymous, I still had a horrible taste in my mouth. So I had a lot of trouble trusting the process and having faith or something greater than myself, because I was ego driven. I was scared. There was a lot of pride involved, guilt and shame. I mean, I could just go on and on and on about the things that were really bothering me and going through my head. It was chaotic. I was unteachable. I was bullheaded. I'm an addict. I want what I want when I want it. I knew it was best for me. Nobody could tell me anything. Because I have control issues. Giving it over and turning it over to something greater than myself, something greater than me, whether it's the universe, whether it's the rooms. I personally use the rooms of the 12-step program I work first going in, because they understood me and they loved on me and they told me to keep coming back. And it finally sunk in. It was that guidance, that good, like I said, God, good orderly direction. I use that guidance and that direction for help and support, and in the early stages, I was using the rooms. I was using the like-minded people, to help me get through another minute, another second, another day, of whatever I was dealing with. It takes time. It takes a lot of practice. And to slow down. I had to remind myself to slow myself down, and easy does it. I really did. Because again, a character defect of mine is control. And in time, I began to get a better understanding. My prayers started to change. It wasn't, oh God, get me out of this situation. Oh God, I hope I don't get arrested today. I hope I don't get pulled over. Things started to change. And my spirituality began to grow and grow stronger daily. That's a lot of growth for me, and I started with simple prayers, but my prayers have changed over time. Because like I said, left to my own devices and my will and not my higher power's will, I'm in trouble. It's a huge red flag. And 10 times out of 10, I get myself in trouble and I break out in handcuffs. I try to be honest daily. I try to share honest daily, be of service daily. I participate. I stay vigilant in my recovery day in and day out. This disease does not rest, people. It does not rest. It does not get a break. And I can't give it a break. Otherwise, it's going to creep back in. And I'm going to get back into that stinking thinking and those old habits and ways. So I have to be aware. I have to be aware of the situation day in and day out. I can't stay clean on yesterday's recovery, and I have to remind myself that day in and day out how important it is to have trust and faith in the process and trust in something greater than myself. I love you guys. I hope everybody is having a great night. I hope you have a great rest of the evening. Addie's across the street right now picking up some pizza. So I'm going to participate in gaining some more weight because that's what recovery has done for me. I've kind of picked up an old habit again. Food was one of my first addictions, but I'm trying to be careful. Pizza just sounds so good. So I'm allowed to, darn it. I'm participating in eating tonight. I love you guys. I appreciate all the support and love that everyone's been reaching out to me. Please share these pages. Like I said, the more we share, the more we reach, and hopefully the more we help. I love you guys. I will see you guys sometime tomorrow. I go back to work Monday, so I'm super excited. I love you guys again, and I will catch you guys later. Everyone have a good night. Thanks for coming in.